Good day everyone, so hope you're all doing really well. Today's video is a bit of a change of pace. We'll be looking at Wuthering waves and the HP inflation issues that have cropped up. But of course you know that this is not going to be a Kokomi Clan video without me somehow going out of bounds in Wuthering waves. It's a type of thing where I discover glitches and have fun. I do that a lot in Genshin as well, so I thought I just had to throw this in. But okay, the real reason you're all here for is obviously the numbers. And the numbers are on the screen. This is the Tower of Adversity, the middle floor. And you can see basically the core issue is that the HP numbers have gone up, but in particular F1, the first boss. Oh, that is such a pain point. So in the background footage you'll see me playing against that boss. But the problem a lot of people have is that nothing has changed about the boss. It's purely just an increase in health. So it's not like there is a new special mechanic, and if you play around the special mechanic, then you can have a corresponding decrease or have some sort of temporary period of res being lowered on the boss, etc. You know, some way to compensate for the increase in the damage number and the HP numbers for the boss. No, we don't have anything like that. There's no extra bit of skill expression that you could be rewarded for. It's just plainly the same boss that's always been in the game, and now you are supposed to be playing Spectro and Havoc units, but if you're like me and you've got a C0, R1, Phoebe and Zani, Kartafia, Frolova, you just can't do it. Like in the past, clearing the tower, easiest thing possible. I've even got the battle records to show it. The problem I have now is that when the clock strikes 3 minutes, you know, that's like the 180-second mark, I just have the 10% extra HP, and it's just like, oh, 10% HP left on the boss, and you can tell it's just how devious Kuro was. Now, I'll be the first to admit, as you've probably seen with the background footage, skill issue is a thing with me. I do think the echoes are decent. They're not god tier, but they're decent. And I think that's also one of the things that you'll often find in the community. Some people with fantastic skill and echoes would be like, yeah, you know what, I beat the boss blindfolded, just with I think it's Danji, you know, just soloing the boss. You get people like that. But for the rest of us normal folks, it really was difficult. The sentiment in the community is that, yes, whilst the rest of the tower had HP inflation, this first boss makes things a little bit tougher, and also because of the fact that the boss can freeze you, and he's got a bit of like a couple of annoying gameplay gimmicks. But the core issue is, why did the damage numbers go up, especially on the boss that gatekeeps the rest of the tower? And this is the sentiment a lot of other people have also expressed, and that is that if you go past this boss, the rest of the floors weren't too bad, if I can put that in air quotes. But unfortunately, what we saw with this boss is that if you can't get past this boss, even with a premium team, an archetype, let's say a Phoebe type of carry team, it was very, very difficult. Now, of course, if you had some of the latest collab units or some of the more recent units that have been released, it was almost like it was a bit easier, and that is the problem. Why are we increasing HP numbers just for the sake of doing it? Because Wuthering Waves is not like Genshin. Wuthering Waves is a game where skill expression can matter. And that's what the game really should be going at. And I find it really, really frustrating that we're doing the old gacha tactic of take an enemy and just increase the HP to try and entice people. Like, think about it. Wuthering Waves, and if you only watch Genshin, this is the first time you're seeing Wuthering Waves, you can tell like this game has a lot of beautiful cinematic moments. The whole point is that when you're fighting against these bosses, it's supposed to give you this feeling that you're like playing an action movie. So there's a lot of appeal for me in the combat, the flow of the characters, the animations. You don't need like HP inflation at the end game to try and entice people to buy these characters. I think the story itself and a lot of the work that's been done to these characters really on its own stands as testament for you to get it. Plus, the very fact of the matter is you've got certain endgame modes and combat events that give you the characters as trial characters that can entice you to be like, hey, I'm going to try this character out, and if I really vibe with them, you can buy them. So I feel like it's almost like Kuro has gone many steps ahead of Genshin, and now they've gone a step back by trying to gatekeep the end game behind an HP pool. And I feel like it's just really annoying. I'd rather have a boss with lower HP but more mechanics that I have to engage with, and that those mechanics can be easier to engage with if I have the latest units, but if I still have the old units, I can outskill it. That I think would be the healthy middle ground, just as much as I think it's a healthy middle ground for WoWa to release characters like Amith that are very easy, automatic, the character plays itself type of character. And then you have other characters like Zani that are much more difficult and intense to play with. And that's the thing, like, you should have different skill levels and different appeals to different types of players, but I worry that a lot of the combat starts to become overly simplified just so that we can get a broader audience or broader market to come into Wuthering Waves. And the key telltale sign of that is by power creeping all the units, by enforcing this HP inflation in some of the endgame modes. And we've also seen this in Wuthering Waste, where a lot of players that have quit, and I've had a friend that's done this. I go onto her account, she goes onto her account, and with the old units and all of the old meta teams, it is almost impossible for us to get a high enough score in Wuthering Waste to unlock the, the endgame mode I'm playing here in the background. So it's, in a certain sense, I'm kind of disappointed because I feel Kuro is doing a lot, and they should just be careful not to let this HP inflation go to their head. Make interesting characters, make interesting combat mechanics. Don't make interesting HP numbers, because we don't care about the numbers. We care about what we do with the characters, because that's the appeal of the game. But yeah, those are that was the big bone I had to pick with Wuthering Waves. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching.